Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me? Is that okay? Okay, all right. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Azman bin Zainal Abidin. I'm from UiTM, University Technology Mara, Perak campus. And I will be moderating this live paper session on room number 1. And the focus for the team for the room number 1 is for the green development and safe. The field will be the green design and also the green economics. We will have 5 presenters today. Supposed to be 6 presenters, but one of the presenters has been pulled out just now. So we will have 5 presenters today. Mr. Izzat Anwar, Mr. Nur Azli Muhammad Noor, Mr. Ahmad Azmin, Mr. Ahmad Faiz Abdul Nasir, and also Mrs. Nur Anissa Abdullah. So since Mr. Ong Benju has pulled out, the presenter number 4 has pulled out. So I have already told Mr. Ahmad Faiz Abdul Nasir to replace Mr. Ong Benju to be a presenter number 4, and also Mrs. Nur Anissa Abdullah will be presenter number 5. So inshallah we will finish our program today a bit earlier. Okay, before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes for the presenters and also for the participant today. Okay, today's session will be recorded and also to be available for post-conference viewing. And if you have any question for the presenters, okay, please use the chat box features in the VBAC and submit your question in the chat box for the presenters to answer. Okay, inshallah, I will read your questions and should read the question to the presenters, and should the presenter is unable to view the chat box. And if you have any technical question, please reach out directly to me via the chat function also as well. And each presenter today will be given more or less about 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of presentation time, and followed by 5 to 10 minutes for the Q&A, for the question and answer session. If one of our presenters complete their presentation before the 30 minutes is up, there may be a time for a question from the attendees. However, we will hold most questions until the end of the session, and I will read this question to the presenters to answer as the time permits. All right. So I introduce you the first presenter today. Please welcome our first presenter. Is Mr. Izzat Anwar from University Technology Mara Perak campus. So the topics for his presentation today is assessing the significance of building envelope on energy efficiency. Am I right? It's true. Okay, assessing the significance of building envelope on energy efficiency. Okay, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Izzat Anwar to deliver your presentation. Hold on.
Hello, testing. Thank you, Architect Azman. Let me share my slide first. Can you see my slide? Okay, baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. So the topic of my research is about assessment framework of building envelope on energy efficiency for public building in Malaysia. So the main purpose of my research is to identify and summarize the findings based on the literature review. So recently, most of the countries are responsible to reduce the energy consumption, especially on the existing public building, even though if it require additional budget in construction. When we look into the problem statement, the most challenging that we will face is tropical climate, which means that the majority of the time is both hot and humid throughout the year. In Malaysia nowadays, the construction industry solely care about the budget and created low-cost designs, especially for public buildings, without considering the environment. In additional, the artificial lighting and air conditioning system use a lot of energy consumption within the commercial sector. So the aim of this research is to establish a framework for evaluating the adoption of suitable technology for ecologically efficient building envelopes in public buildings in Malaysia. So there are two main objectives that has been considered in this study. The first and most important thing is to investigate the passive design strategies in order to be applied to the public building envelopes. And the second one is to evaluate the quality of building envelope technology and exterior skin configuration, including functionality, construction quality, and influence on end users. All right, here are some literature studies that I reviewed, identified, and summarized according to the building envelopes. So, for your information, the building envelopes recently has been used in many construction technology in order to improve the indoor environmental quality. So, there are 4 energy conservation techniques may be implemented in the building envelope. Firstly, we have the low technology can be categorized as a simple technology that can be summarized as a simple construction method. For example, the use of reusable and recycled materials like the water wall system because of the simplest itself, smallest and most effective method. Secondly, we have the high technology. This is the best use of all current potentials, including cutting-edge science, information, materials, and machines as well. For example, the use of manufactured materials such as metal, fiberglass, and etc. Thirdly, we have high technology strategies. In these strategies, the construction of double skin facade, which includes glass and shutters that reflects solar radiation back into space. And the last one, we have the building envelope criteria. The use of the design quality indicator, DQI, since 1990. This is clearly that the methodology was based on three-pronged approach of DQI, Design Quality Indicator, which includes functionality, build quality, and impact for evaluating qualitative improvements and adding value for the end user. Right. So it may conclude that the selection of the facade is determined by the selected materials, the kind of structure, and aesthetic needs as well. So the highest feasible thermal insulation is a fundamental function of the facade. So the building's external walls influence directly from the environmental, economic, and energy performance. As you can see, the brown color, the additional of assessing the significance of building envelopes is the intelligent facade. So it will be require it will be involve those kind of building envelopes such as double skin facade, box window type, in order to get fully integrated control and actuated window ventilation. My systematic literature review came from Scopus and direct science databases. So the quality of the included studies is evaluated using clear and standardized criteria. And lastly, the findings are objectively summarized and synthesized. And then some stages has been implemented. First, review questions. Second, search process. Third, study quality assessment. And last but not least, synthesis. There are two research here. The first one is which theories and conceptual frameworks are used for environmentally efficient building envelopes in public building? And research question number two is which technologies are used to evaluate the quality of building envelope technology and exterior skin configuration, including functionality, construction quality, and influence on end users. So, in order to understand the behavior of building envelope components, normally building envelope is categorized into several parts, uh, such as a single skin facade, building or multiple skin, box window facade, shaft box facade, corridor facade, and the last one is multi-story double skin facade. All right. So, as per hypothesis, it is expected that DQI for public building would be able to represent the ultimate thermal comfort of the spaces, therefore resolving the challenges associated with providing protection from humidity and weather conditions. Okay, and then it is anticipated that the users of the public buildings will have the highest levels of experience satisfaction. In addition, this study will help evaluate the quality of building envelopes, technology, and exterior skin configuration, including functionality, construction quality, and influence on end users. So, in summary, this could be stated that this paper offers assessment technique options for assessing environmental effects, and then suggests a set of evaluation criteria reflecting the quality and extent of refurbishment measures undertaken in a facade retrofit. And the suggested qualitative evaluation approach is reflective of the results of a facade upgrade in terms of end user satisfaction and enhancements to the building's functionality, construction quality, and also effect. Right? I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Izzat, for your excellent presentation. Okay, if for the participants in the room, if you have any question for Mr. Izzat, please add in the chat box, and I will read it so that the presenter can answer now. Is there any question? If you don't have question, I have a question to the to the presenter. Because slide number 6, slide number 6. Slide number 8. Slide number 8 regarding the type of the building envelope. Based on your might be you have a hypothesis or not from this matter. Which of these based on your study out of the 6, which one is much more better in terms of building envelope?
Right. I believe the first one, which is a single skin facade, because first thing first, we have to understand the importance of our building envelope. Why? Because it keeps outside elements such as moisture and humidity, and give a long term for these facade components. Then, and then number two, we have a barrier system between walls and building envelopes in order to prevent water leakage or infiltration to the interior spaces.
Okay. But single skin facade normally apply for low-rise building, isn't it?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. On on the corridor facade, how did that thing works? They have the corridor inside. They have something like the double skin also, isn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
So for corridor facade, I believe that this type of building envelope will help reduce heat and glare from the sunlight and act as
Yeah.
shadow casting.
Mhm.
So it will not allows moisture to infiltrate the envelope during occupancy.
Mhm. Yeah, at the same time, they allow for the internal circulation also as well. Okay, participants, any question to the presenter? Because we still have plenty of time now. Now it's only at 11:26. We have a few more minutes. If you have any question, or even from other presenter also, you can ask the presenter any question. Or we move to the second presenter. Second presenter, you are ready? Second presenter is technologist Nur Azli Muhammad Noor. Ready? Okay, in that case, thank you, Encik Muhammad Izzat Anwar, for your excellent presentation. I pray for your success in your research, inshallah, to complete your research on this matter. It's very interesting research. So, yeah, for if participant have further question to the presenter, you still can contact the presenter personally. All right. So now I will introduce you the second presenter. Okay, the second presenter is technologist Nur Azli Muhammad Noor. Okay, technologist Muhammad Noor is also a lecturer from University Teluk Umara Perak branch. The title of his presentation is a study of energy efficiency at inpatient ward Batu Gajah Hospital. Very interesting topic. Batu Gajah Hospital Perak from the end user perspective. Okay, without further ado, I would like to introduce you, Encik Nur Azli. What is your name? Azli Nur.
Okay, so everyone can hear.
All right. Okay.
Okay, first let me share my slide. So everyone can see my slide. Okay. So Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all the audience and the moderator. So today I would like to present my paper is about the end user perception of energy efficiency at healthcare facilities, a case study of Batu Gajah Hospital in Perak. Okay, so before I start, I will introduce my team member, okay, which lead by Mr. AR Dr. Jamaluddin Muhammad, okay, Mr. Amirul Amin bin Ismail, myself, and also Mr. Anwar bin Mak Yusof. Okay, we are from Department of Architecture, Faculty of Architecture and Planning, and Survey UiTM Perak branch. So the content of my presentation today, okay, will cover this topic, okay, the abstract, the aim, objective, introduction, literature review, methodology, result, conclusion, and also references. Okay, so we go to the abstract. Okay, so the demand of the energy efficiency is increased due to depletion of non-renewable energy source nowadays. Okay, so the energy efficiency aims to reduce the energy consumption in the healthcare or hospital facilities. Hospital and healthcare facilities, okay, as we know, use high energy compared to other buildings. Okay, this data I will show in my presentation. And also by combining passive and active system, it can achieve optimal energy saving for this current building. This paper examines end user perception towards energy consumption in Hospital Batu Gajah in Perak, Malaysia. The study was conducted by using questionnaire and feedback by end user because it plays a massive role addressing the energy efficiency in the setting. The outcome of this paper will benefit designer to come out with proper guidelines for improving energy efficiency in hospital or healthcare facilities. So the research aim is investigate the potential of reducing energy consumption in healthcare facilities in area at Hospital Batu Gajah. First objective is to study the user perception of the hospital energy consumption in what area, and the second objective is to benefit designer for a systematic guideline and consideration for hospital design, ultimately improving energy efficiency for hospital building. Okay, so for the introduction, from the data of Energy Commission in Malaysia for 2022, show that the industrial sector contribute 45.7% of energy consumption, which is the highest from the other sectors, okay, which is highest from institutional sector and also from the other sector. The industrial sector include hospital, factory, and other industrial building, okay. But why hospital use most of the energy? Because from the data associated, only 0.4 energy was renewable energy and remaining is non-renewable energy. The data from Environmental and Energy Branch under Public Works Department Malaysia state that energy consumption in hospital is increasing significantly through time, okay, because hospital using electricity or energy 24 hours for the operation of the hospital. Therefore, the energy consumption in this building need to be systematically regulated to reduce the energy usage for the building. Okay, so the literature review first is the dilemma in hospital and healthcare building design. Okay, so from my research, okay, architect who design this building need to require extensive knowledge for medical planning, equipment, detail, and others. Okay, because not all architects can design the hospital or medical facilities, which this is because the medical facilities or hospital is categorized as a specialist design building. To solve the energy consumption problem is quite challenging task for the architects. Those user experience is very important to the design that have been implemented because the data can be converted towards the solution for energy consumption problems. Okay, so from the feedback from the end user, okay, inshallah from this paper, so we can compile it as a guideline towards for the architect towards the future design for hospital building. Second one is the studies on energy efficiency in hospital building. Okay, it is energy intensive building because 24 hours operating a day. Okay, like I mentioned before, the hospital is operating 24 hours a day. In which facilities, which is we have operational room, we have the wards, and we have the emergency department. Okay. So most of the energy consumed by HVAC system, lighting, medical equipment, and others. Okay, as we know, the most energy using is for ventilation and air conditioner. Okay, to make sure the indoor environment for hospital is suitable and comfortable to the user. So from the study before, Kuala Kangsar Hospital is a semi-specialist hospital which is estimated 2 million kilowatt per month using of energy in 2020 and is equivalent to 750,000 months of electrical bill. So this is based from previous study, okay, which tell us that the Kuala Kangsar Hospital, which is a semi-specialist hospital, also use 2 million of kilowatt per month of the energy or electricity. So this is the table, okay, studies of energy efficiency of hospital building that gone through years, okay. So we can see that all the data from here we gather, and also we try to use it as our literature review for this paper. So the methodology of this paper is the survey will conduct to collect the data of energy efficiency in public hospital. Okay, the respondent consists of an adult patient and also staff working out there. And then the 53 set questionnaire were distributed to a total of 20 males and 33 females. This quantitative approach is preferred to provide confidentiality and ensure greater trust in the respondent. Okay, as we know, because hospital have its own confidentiality method. So we use this quantitative approach. So this is our research framework. Okay, from the objective, we go to data collection using the questionnaire, and then from the data, we split it into two, which is the building itself, hospital type of building, the location, the unit to study, and also the data about the energy consumption in the hospital, which is inpatient unit, inpatient ward, staff and patient, and also the respondent is 80 and above. So after that, the data analysis using SPSS, okay, Statistical Package for Social Science, for analysis the data. So the outcome of this paper will give opportunity for design improvement for energy efficiency architecture by implementing the passive design in hospital and other healthcare facilities. So the result and discussion, okay, based on the feedback by the end user. There are 5 strategies that have been identified to increase the potential of using natural ventilation as energy saving tool. Okay, there are, first one is frequency of user electrical equipment. Okay, the second one is electrical appliances such as lighting are sufficient for the area of the space. Third one is the layout of the electrical equipment. The fourth one is the period of use of electrical equipment. And the final one is the electrical equipment help the environment. So this is the data, okay, and the result for this paper, for the research, okay. So first one is the frequency of use of electrical equipment, okay. So from this data, we can see that the layout of electrical equipment affect human behavior and also energy consumption in hospital, okay. So almost half of the respondent, which is 43, is agree with the existing layout of the electrical equipment, which is the layout we can use or we can improvise for the future or to make benefit from this data. Okay, so next is the electrical appliance such as lighting are sufficient for the area of the space. Okay, so from this one, okay, we can see that most of the users satisfied with the sufficient electrical appliance, okay, which is light, which we have down light, spotlight, and other lighting accessories. Okay, 26%, 24% is agreed, and only 7.7 and 70% respondent which strongly not agree with it. Okay. So we move to the next result, which is the layout of the electrical equipment. Okay. So the layout of the electrical equipment, okay, will also shown that almost of the respondent, okay, which is 47.2, is agree with the existing layout of the electrical equipment. Next one is the period of electrical equipment used in the ward. Okay. So according to the READY 2019. Okay, period of use of electrical equipment gives significant impact to the energy consumption. Okay, because every equipment is used very high of kilowatt per hour for the medical equipment. Okay, so from this data, we can see that 49% respondent is agreed to the statement, whereby only 2% is disagreed. Okay, which is we can see that the equipment that provide in the ward, okay, is already maybe have an energy efficiency or energy saving function. Okay, so we move to the final result. Okay, the electrical equipment help the environment. How the electrical equipment help the environment? Okay, from this data, you can see that 17% strongly agree and 51% is agreed. Okay, with the statement. Okay, so it shows that the importance of electrical appliance to help the indoor environment quality for the patient and staff. Okay, so some of the equipment, okay, which I mentioned before, like air conditioner or HVAC system, okay, help the patient and staff to feel more comfortable and improve the indoor environment quality. Okay, so from this result, okay, we can conclude that maybe the equipment we can use as nowadays we have several energy saving air conditioner system that we can apply. Okay. So for the conclusion and recommendation, okay, based on the data collected, there is 5 recommendation, okay, based on 5 result that have been presented, okay. Recommendation for energy efficiency in public hospital, okay, by using potential of natural ventilation as energy saving tools, okay. Instead of using HVAC, maybe we could use the natural ventilation as energy saving tool. Second one is public hospital need the feedback from other users experience in certain space to ensure the suitable energy consumption provided. And then most of the respondents agreed that all electrical appliance is easily accessible, okay, which is the electrical layout of the ward, okay, is accessible and comfort the staff and also the patient in the ward. Based on the given strategies, okay, user experience can be proven beneficially to this to the designer and also architects to improve future design of hospital building. And the final one is, however, the newer equipment have energy saving function that can benefit the environment by reducing the energy consumption. So that's all from me, and this is our references for this paper. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Noor Azli, for the great presentation just now. Okay, for the participants in the room, if you have any question, you can write in the chat box, and I will read the question to the presenter. Any question? Okay, but during waiting for the question from the participant, so the study is based on the public hospital only, isn't it?
Yes.
So how about the because we're looking about the current design for the private hospital, they're more on the deep planning, you know, means that they're utilizing space. Might be public hospital is they have it's easy to have a cross ventilation or whatnot because the planning based on the linear form and so on. But when we're talking about the private hospital, I think a bit tough to provide natural ventilation as mentioned by you. What is your opinion?
Okay. So as this paper is research on the inpatient ward, so basically the natural ventilation that we are proposing or we can induce that is only for now, okay, we can apply it for the ward area because as we know, in hospital we have several crucial department. We have emergency department, we have operational room, and we have other department. Okay, so for a typical ward design, okay, I think for private sector or government sector, okay, it will be a typical design as they have room, they have corridor that maybe we can apply, and it is possible to apply the natural ventilation as a tool for energy saving.
Okay. Did the research refer to the any green rating tools for in your research? For example, like because GBI also they have GBI for hospital.
Oh, we have read about it, but not too detailed and not to include in this paper. But we aware about it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azli. Any question from the other participants or even from the presenter? Also, I can ask the question to the presenter if you want. Any question? If there are no further question, okay, thank you again, Mr. Noor Azli, for your very excellent presentation, excellent research. Okay, so if the participant have further question to the presenter, you can contact him personally. All right. Next presenter, Mr. Ahmad Azmin. Are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let I introduce first. Okay. Mr. Ahmad Azmin. His topic today is about the identifying house elements for smart home appliances, SHA, adaptation in future home of Malaysia, the research methodology. Okay, without further ado, please, Mr. Mr. Azmin, to deliver your presentation.
Thank you, Azman. Assalamualaikum to all of you. So our topic for this presentation today is identifying house element for smart home appliances, SHA adaptation in future homes of Malaysia, the research methodology. So this topic is a part of my master. I'm from UiTM Sri Iskandar. Okay, so this paper was commenced by me, Ahmad Azmin, and my supervisor Nur Asfahani Ahmad, Muhammad Nizam Abdul Aziz, and Ahmad Hakim Nazali Abdul Razak. Okay, for the abstract, the current global homeowners have, sorry, currently, global homeowners have encountered a modern and sophisticated electrical appliances that is their daily domestic lifestyle, including cooking, washing, and other household chores. The advancement of this technology in the domestic sector has led to easier and more convenient lifestyle, which create a high technology lifestyle for homeowner, which leads to complexity in house design and the need for the advancement in house element integration for smart use in the house. However, the issue of adaptation of newest appliances with the current house element is minimally being explored, since most researchers are more focusing on the smart home concept rather than focusing on typical houses that need to be integrated with these smart appliances. There is a need to determine the significant location inside this typical house that will provide an efficient and strategic way of incorporating the house element according to the needs of the appliances. The latest smart home appliances may be various sizing, weight, and function, which can be controlled remotely through the Internet of Things or IoT, where these appliances need a proper location to receive a better networking coverage and to fully utilize their function. Therefore, this paper seeks to discuss a research methodology in identifying significant house element for smart home appliances adaptation in future typical homes. An exploratory mixed method research has been selected for this paper involving number one, survey research, which distributed questionnaire to a panel of experts, and number two, a case study with the aid of the systematic observation. An observation checklist has been derived from the panel of experts, result in listing the current trend of house element. Consequently, this paper will assist related researchers in making informed decisions about method selection and deployment in their related study towards finding the best solution to adapt these smart home appliances at typical house in Malaysia. So next, as we all know that smart appliances are new things, are previously manual appliances. We might have used the manual washing machine, the semi-auto washing machine, the auto washing machine, and now the latest washing machine that can dry the clothes right away after the cleaning process. The previous appliances are not having internet connectivity that allows the user to control or manage or see the progress of their appliances. Nowadays, appliances are showing their loads, their electrical loads that is being used, but not for the old one type. The previous house element is not adapting the current smart home appliances, hence its need to have a certain design to adapt it. For example, the use of smart plug point is being used nowadays that have the function of an auto turn off and can turn it on back by control via smartphone. So the methodology choices is divided by 4 categories for this presentation. The more detail will be on the paper. Feel free to read through, which are to find the research problem definition, to solve the logical option, to make the epistemological and methodological choice, and to find the essential benchmark for how to describe and explain and comprehend. So the methodological choice is a strategy significantly influenced by the study subject. The research problem is a logical claim that define, and expose the key component of the situation, states of affairs, difficulty, contradiction, etc., together with the background information and condition required for this identification. The research issue may be theoretical, which are, for example, construction or reconstruction, theory development or creation, contradiction, paradox, and theoretical inconsistency. Or the research issue also can be practical or applied, such as social demand, social demand, business or organization that need for effective solution in challenging situation, and also anticipation needs, or have a combination of these two characteristics. The choice of the research problem is a crucial phase in the research process, with the effectiveness of this decision having a significant impact on the subsequent step, outcome, and success. So the logical method refer to the method of putting together the explanation, understanding, description, or prediction need to solve the problem. There are two options available at this level. Number one is a rational logic, and number two, heuristic infralogic. The rational logic process The rational logic proposes a logical progression of the approach within an anticipated succession, and with conclusion, analyze, generalization, explanation, and solution in compliance with the specific rules, principle, and methodological prescription. Invoking technique and instrument selected by reporting to prior knowledge about the field, problem, and theories of reference. Next is the epistemological choice. Position the study to the issue and the way it is resolved, leading to the formation of the key stepping stone for the future strategy. The positivism, constructivism, and interpretivism paradigm can be theoretically be used to realize the epistemological perspective. A combination of paradigm could be used as well, but doing so is actually already challenging. It is nevertheless possible to do so at the various phase of the research strategy by making significant adjustment at the principal level. The methodological choice establish the essential benchmark for how to describe, explain, and comprehend. The first of these landmarks are those that define the problem and research approach, guiding philosophy, concept, and broad guidelines. This methodological component, which collectively are referred to as a method, represent the anticipation of how the rationing process will be developed, creating hypotheses, anticipating solution, estimating, and predicting. The vision of the field, problem, and analyze sector, and the position toward the object of the research. For example, extent. Therefore, the methodological approach can be adaptive or deductive or inductive as mean of realization. So, for this topic, the approach utilized in this study was combine the findings, dependability, and the study validity based on selected case study. As a result, this part focused on the research technique used in this study to meet the research objective. This section describes the tools that used to measure the study numerous variables. There are 4 phases of research designed for this research, which are preliminary study, data collection, data analysis, report, and writing. This research methodology involving an exploratory research design approach was explained by this well-structured figure in the screen. For the phase 1 preliminary study is identifying all the research issue, research objective, and research question. This phase will discuss the current terrace houses and the smart home appliances, which will be carried out by systematic literature review. Furthermore, this data will be used for developing the theoretical framework for the next phase. A few issue has been carried out for the literature review, which are high energy bills and adaptation of new appliances, energy wastage, the increase of carbon dioxide emission, increased spending as income, no implementation of energy efficiency, changes in social and cultural and awareness of the people. Therefore, it is significant move to explore the connection of Malaysia Township with the evolution of Malaysia future homes and the adaptation of smart home appliances. Cyberjaya was chosen for this research. Okay, a strong linkage needs to be discovered between the smart home appliances adaptation and the house element in Cyberjaya to adapt new normality of the future house. Okay, Cyberjaya was chosen since this town has a fundamental application to the latest trend of the future lifestyle, focusing on Malaysia. So the data collection phase is divided into two stages, which are the survey research stage and the case study stage, which involve a mixed method approach, combining and integrating qualitative and quantitative research method into one study is known as a mixed method research. Although research has been long combined qualitative and quantitative, it wasn't until 1980s that current conceptualization of mixed method research began to take a shape. Over the past few years, mixed method research has gone quickly become a research approach with a symbol of quality. Research survey research stage. This phase of the research will be obtained through the main questionnaire survey for a panel of experts in smart housing industry. Before the main questionnaire was distributed, a pilot survey will be made according to ensure the questionnaire are reliable to the current industry. A pilot survey is scaled down version of a full scale study or a test run conducted in advance of the full test. This is also known as a feasibility test. It can also refer to a pre-test of a certain research instrument, such as questionnaire or interview schedule. The pilot test is tried out by the expert to critique the question, hence the main question can be updated accordingly. This pilot survey will make main questionnaire more reliable according to current situation of the industry, especially in Malaysia. This pilot test will be carried out by six numbers of panel of expert. This panel of expert has been filtered accordingly to their working or business experience as to achieve a deep understanding of this topic. Okay, the questionnaire in this research is dividing into two phases: a pilot study and the main questionnaire. The pilot survey determine the quality of the question and reliability to ask the question, while the main questionnaire might be adjusted according to the result made from the pilot survey. The primary goal of this research is to determine the significant home element of Cyberjaya future homes in adapting smart home appliances. So for the sampling selection, 300 questionnaire have been collected will be collected by purposive sampling chosen for this research to get a more accurate answer. An updated questionnaire from the pilot survey has been distributed to the panel of experts that fulfill the requirement criteria for this research. For the case study, Cyberjaya was selected because it is one of the forefront cities of the smart city concept in Malaysia. Cyberjaya remains a national driver and a model city for Malaysia in drafting and formalizing smart city policy document at the city authority level, state and national level. In Cyberjaya, for example, a few areas in this township link ICTs and intelligence systems such as smart lighting, district cooling system, solar panels, electric vehicles, Cyberjaya Wi-Fi, and integrated security. For example, Tamarin Sud Sofo in Cyberjaya, which has a good, favorable integrated environment that is suited for the construction and residential region. Not to forget Cyberia Smart Home and Garden View Resident. Therefore, it is significant move to explore the connection of this township with the evolution of Malaysia future home than the adaptation of smart home appliances. A strong linkage need to be discovered between the smart home appliances adaptation and the house design element in Malaysia. For example, wall element, floor element, and ceiling element that need to adapt the new normality of lifestyle. So as a conclusion, the findings show that a mixed method approach is the most suitable methodology for this topic. Although there are a lot of other methods in the world of knowledge, this one is the most appropriate according to the discussion in the section above. This methodology hopefully is used by other writers as a guideline for their further research and analyze on the designing appropriate research methodology. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Azmin. Thank you for your very excellent presentation.
Welcome.
I think this is very interesting topic regarding the smart home appliances adaptation, especially in Malaysia. For the other participant, if you have any question for Mr. Azmin, you can put it on the chat box. No question. Because everything is there. So the elements you're talking about, the additive in the house element, so this is the only 6 elements you talk about, isn't it? I think slides number, you're talking about wall, floor, and
Yes, I talk about 3 elements only, which are wall, floor, and ceiling.
wall, floor, and ceilings. Okay,
Focusing on interior house.
all right. You talk about the not about the space, not about the spaces itself, but on the house elements. Because
Yes.
because sometimes in the house, we talk about the space. For example, like the living space, the sleeping space, working space, something like that. Okay. All right. Since I think it's a no question to you, I also have no question to you also as well. So before you, okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Azmin, for your very great and then presentation. Before we move to the next presenter, this is Encik Ahmad Faiz. So I would like to check whether Mrs. Nur Anissa Abdullah, is he in the room? Presenter number, supposed to be presenter number 6. But we will move to presenter number 4 because Mr. Ong Benju pulled out from this presentation. Mrs. Nur Anissa Abdullah. The topic is contractor's perspective on the impact of the COVID-19 on construction industry. Is he in the room? If in the room, please chat with me because after presenter number 4, Ahmad Faiz, after this, okay, I will invite Mr. Nur Anissa to present. But if Muhammad Arif Daniel will present on behalf. Okay. Thank you. Now I know. All right. Thank you, Muhammad Arif Daniel. Okay, so now we move into next presenter is Encik Ahmad Faiz. Where's your name? Encik Ahmad Faiz.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, Encik Ahmad Faiz, thank you. Okay, Encik Ahmad Faiz. Okay, welcome to the rooms. Also, the topic of the presentation today is aquaponics farming methods as a solution for sustainable food security. Am I right? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So without further ado, please welcome you, Mr. Ahmad Faiz, to deliver your presentation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I will share my slide. Oh, yeah. Everyone can see my slide? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. A very good morning. Very good afternoon. Respectful speakers, presenters, academics, and participants of the first International E-Conference on Green and Safe Cities, IEGRESAFE 2022. I'm Ahmad Faiz bin Abdul Nasir from Arshad Ayub Graduate Business School, UiTM Shah Alam. The team members, Dr. Suryana Ramli, Mike Kiwela and Noor Alia Muhammad Fazil, and our presentation today entitled Aquaponics Farming Method as a Solution for Sustainable Food Security. So these are the presentation outlines, starting with the introduction and ending with the conclusion. And hold on, I have to move my center view here because I cannot see well my slide. Okay.
We can see your slide.
Okay. All right. Okay, the introduction. Rapid population growth is expected worldwide and will cause a threat to food security. Urban farming has gained importance due to the tremendous increase of population in urban areas. The main concept of urban farming is to cater the increasing demand of fresh food in urban area. This is due to urbanization, which is related to the growth of the city that encourages more people to come and settle in the area. The idea of urban farming is to make fresh food available, create new jobs, manage recycle waste, and strengthen the resilience of cities towards climate change. Aquaponic systems are developed as a means of addressing these issues. It is a closed loop system, which is in which animals are living in water, mainly fish, and useful plants such as herbs, fruits or vegetables are together. The term aquaponics is made up of hydroponics and aquaculture and was first used in 1970s. The system produced nutritious food naturally without the use of chemical fertilizers or pesticides and can be implemented anywhere there is a suitable water supply. In other words, it helps in ensuring food availability for the people and ultimately enhance food security. The effects of COVID-19 pandemic may be prolonged and trickier compared to other financial crises. In Malaysia, at the household level, particularly among the B40 community, especially in the urban areas, the COVID-19 pandemic effects are increasingly crippling their ability to buy healthy and affordable food, particularly for households that spend up to 70% of their income on food. Aquaponics might be the most sustainable solution to ease the economic burden of this group. Many literature discusses that aquaponics the aquaponics use may be beneficial in the countries with limited agricultural production capacity, rapid urbanization, and exponential population growth. As a result, aquaponics is receiving more and more attention as a critical component of achieving sustainable food production in the battle against poverty and food insecurity, both in the urban and the rural areas. Aquaponics is also regarded as the technologies that would change human lives because it is ability to supply the expanding urban population with nutritious food. Aquaponics is in line with the Sustainable Development Goals that were introduced by the United Nations. This trade effort is working together with the SDG goal number 11 that emphasizes sustainable cities and communities. Therefore, the application of the aquaponics farming methods in urban farming is the best option due to being the most sustainable in nature. The problem is that most aquaponics projects and service provider companies are facing in disseminating the goodness of urban farming into the community, developing the strategy to sustain the implementation, and creating the courage to pursue farming continuously. This is due to little knowledge of the community, small initial capital, and perceptions of skeptics about the success of urban farming. Moreover, aquaponics is a complicated system that encompasses three distinct concepts: the fish, the plants, and the microorganisms. It needs to be thoroughly maintained, thus make it harder for the people to initiate the implementation. So, urban farming has shown its contribution to food security. The objectives of the paper are to provide the workable and affordable aquaponics method of implementation implementation in a small or confined place to enhance food security and ensure sustainable food production is applied when implementing the aquaponics system, and to educate the community about aquaponics. To achieve these objectives, the following questions will be discussed. What is the workable and affordable aquaponics method of implementation in a small or confined place? How to enhance food security and ensure sustainable food production is applied when implementing the aquaponics system? How to educate the community about the aquaponics, which should lead them to setting it. So this is a conceptual paper that I'm presenting today. So the literature review in general, the first one is sustainability. Actually, there are 6 themes that I will discuss here. First is sustainability. The general definition, the sustainability is the ability to exist and develop without depleting natural resources for the future. Meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development was adopted at the United Nations General Assembly on the 25th of September 2015. There are sustainable development goals to be achieved by the member states over the next 15 years. That means until 2030. The 17 SDGs is to ensure sustainable, peaceful, prosperous, and equitable existence on Earth for all people now and the future. In response to SDGs, there are 6 SDGs that were found to be incorporated with aquaponics. The goal number 2, 6, 9, 12, 14, and 15, and also I've mentioned before the goal number 11. The most important is goal number 2 that emphasizes eliminating hunger, enhancing food security, boosting nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture. Aquaponics are efficiently provide food for everybody while also earning a living. It also encourages rural development and environmental conservation. Okay, then the government support. Actually, throughout the history of urban farming in Malaysia, it was started in 1974, where Malaysia, the government of Malaysia introduced the program Bumi Hijau and Pembangunan Keluarga Tani. These programs are the extensions of Rancangan Bumi Hijau. The main objective of the program is to maximize land development involving short-term crops farming and freshwater fish husbandry, to improve the marketing of agricultural products, to increase food production, to improve people's incomes, and to reduce inflation. But today, the foundation of urban farming in Malaysia has been evolved to meet the current situations. Urban farming is also a constituent program in Local Agenda 21 to promote sustainable development in the local level by creating and strengthening cooperation between local authorities, local communities, and the private sector. It encourages the urban community to actively participate in urban farming activities, and the target is always the low-income group in the urban area due to the high cost of living. So the key stakeholders, either from the government or the non-government and the private sectors, are the most relevant entities in sustaining urban farming projects. Based on the study's findings, it suggested that key holder sustaining fund start up support for future community urban farming, enhance knowledge sharing among urban growers, provide a wide range of activities in the gardens, attempt to involve young people, and to promote ongoing community consultation and engagement. And the business involvement, another formal institution is represented by companies that have either knowledge about aquaponics or are generally willing to support the aquaponics project as well as the urban community in any way possible. Companies occupy an important place in today's society and think sustainably and assuming social responsibility are the core part and parcel of modern entrepreneurship. A few of responsibilities to help include to equip and train the community with simply donate money or goods. Probably the most classic form of social commitment is the monetary donation. The existing thing about this form of donation is that the company can make a very concrete difference with its donation, which in many cases can then also be shown publicly. Overall, formal institutions play an important role in the planning for the construction and the commission, as well as for the operation of the aquaponics project. Next is the community acceptance. The concept of food systems in the cities have proven that urban farming could overcome the urban poor issues as well as increase the food in the crop production systems. However, the application of urban farming is relatively new in Malaysia, especially the aquaponics method. Making sustainable urban farming is a challenge to be faced. Urban farming can be successful when the urban community perceive urban farming positively and accept urban farms in their community. Malaysia is experiencing lack of contribution and support among the public towards the urban farming. The Malaysian government and its related agencies have contributed a lot to make urban farming gradually popular and highly adopted among urban communities. This reflects the vital role of community in urban farming activities that are implemented in urbanized areas. The influence of urban community in its participation in urban farming projects is based on their motivations, the difference of their attitudes, lifestyle characteristics, level of cognitive, affective, behavioral aspects, are factors that influence the acceptance towards urban farming in Malaysia. The next one is the aquaponics. Aquaponics describe the combination of growing vegetables and keeping fish. It is a closed loop system, which is animals living in the water and useful plants are together in the systems. So aquaponics has quickly become a celebrity in the sustainable food production. It has been potential to produce fish food and vegetable in a sustainable and pollution-free manner. So the implementation of the urban areas for sustainable, resource-efficient, and adaptable food production, modular bio-based production systems in urban areas represent an approach. Among them, the aquaponic system. But the question is, how can a growing urbanized world population be educated, supplied with high quality food in the future? Not only that, but only people cannot afford to buy fresh vegetable or fish or on a regular basis, for example. Here, the income gap also plays a crucial role. Therefore, it would be advantageous for those, especially in need, to have the option to grow their own food at home, preferably as a community. The goal is to implement an aquaponic system in an apartment complex or the community of that building to maintain it and share it, the harvest together. Okay, so this is the aquaponic systems. On my left or right, the PWD Smart Permeability this is the one that has been shown in an expo in KL, but this is from a company in Philippines. So they have shown that the possibility of using aquaponics for household to increase their availability of healthy food products. And on the other side is the community based in Malaysia, in Puncak Alam. I've been there and seeing the progress of the project. And actually, there are few methods of aquaponics that can be applied at home. This is a DIY method that the most simplest and the cheapest one, the cheapest method that can be applied at home. So this is the one that have been introduced by some a community in Salak Tinggi. So this is the most affordable only 200 ringgit can have this. And this is the more nice version of a company system that can be applied at home. And they are applied the vertical aquaponics, so they're hybrid. And this is more expensive actually. Okay, so the conceptual framework. So this is the conceptual framework of this paper. The framework is here incorporated the government support, the business involvement, and the community acceptance of the concepts as information independent variable that could be determine the success of the aquaponics as urban farming method. The integration and commitment of the three parties would determine the food accessibility, adequate nutrition and security, and ensure cost-effective supplies of aquaponics farming. And ultimately, the aim of sustainable food security is achievable. So we will be moving on the discussion. The concept of aquaponics is popular among communities in Australia and the US, but the concept is really gaining attention among urban communities due to its benefits and the method is more sustainable. When we look into the Malaysian aspect, there are 19 areas that are called urban. The areas are Klang Valley, Penang, Johor, as the top 3 of the most urbanized area in Malaysia, which comprises about 76% of Malaysian population and experience 4% of annual growth. This is expected to result in the rise of a slew of urbanization-related issues, high cost of living, adequate fresh supplies, incapacity of buy quality and nutritious food, people focusing on job security, and so on. The question is of how a growing urbanized population can be adequately supplied with fresh quality food in the future. The majority of urbanites cannot afford to buy highly quality fresh vegetables or protein on their regular basis. For example, here is the income cap also plays a crucial role. Therefore, it would be advantageous for those in particular need to have the option to grow their own food at home, preferably as a community. The main concept of urban farming is to cater the increasing demand of fresh food in urban areas. In Malaysia, the foundation of urban farming has been evolved to meet the current situation, like I've mentioned before, the LA21, to promote sustainable development at the local level by creating and strengthening cooperation with local authorities, communities, and the private sector. Therefore, the Malaysian government has to play its role to ensure the sustainability of aquaponics urban farming. Special attention needs to be given to urban farming and also to be outstanding part of the government policy towards sustainable development in line with current needs. Perhaps as a strategy to realize the policy leveraging agricultural investment is also through education and training. They should be implemented to empower the knowledge, the awareness, the attitude of youngsters towards urban farming. And the most important element is to improve the cities and provide better services according to the needs of the population. The difficulties arise is to communicate the concept of the sustainability and its sustainability, to convince the community or the individuals is accepting and actively participating the aquaponics is relatively hard. Therefore, it can be said that the acceptance of aquaponics, knowledge transfer, and motivation of users are the major issues. Against the background of the current situation and the trends towards more conscious nutrition and sustainability, it is necessary to investigate whether consumers would judge aquaponics production systems as sustainable. And to gain acceptance, aquaponics product process will have been perceived as healthy. So, okay, the significance of study. Okay, the collaboration of the study will be benefit parties that are involved directly or indirectly, such as the society, the government, and the aquaponics industry. First, the study is to expect to develop several ways to raise awareness, educate the community about the aquaponics, which should lead them to accepting it. Other than that, is expected to provide workable and affordable accompaniment methods of implementation in a small or confined place. The conceptual framework provided in the study may help society and companies in the companies industry to sustain a company's implementation. The findings of the study are also expected to provide feasible ways to enhance security and ensure sustainable food production is supplied while implementing the company system. Further research is encouraged to be conducted to enhance the findings of the study. From the study, it can be recommended that the change in agricultural methods can further improve the food security situation. The introduction of technology in agriculture brings opportunity to the urban community to venture in urban culture. Despite the advantages, there are several challenges in planning execution of companies urban farming. Therefore, finally, we can conclude that the studies that were conducted by various scholars provided a good sign of the potential development of urban farming technologies towards city communities in Malaysia. Urban farming is seen as supporting agriculture in more economically oriented way and providing direct access to fresh produce close to urban communities. The application of urban farming technologies provide the opportunity to improve the quality of life, drive the economy of the community, and provide a positive impact as well as a good platform for community engagement. Looking ahead, aquaponics farming makes urban farming practices highly relevant and realistic to meet the needs of urban residents, and also and should be reinforced in terms of government support and policy intervention to provide even greater impact in the future. However, the success of establishing the urban farming community programs is not a matter of short of time frame. It demands a comprehensive strategy from the government, the implementing agencies, and the community awareness to further enhance national food sovereignty, whether in the present or in the future. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Faiz. So very excellent presentation. We talk about first time I heard about aquaponics. Normally we heard about the hydroponics, and so on. In fact, in my community here, so we have our own urban farming community, having hydroponics. I think one of the most challenges is, as you said just now, how to educate the public, the community, especially,
Yeah.
and then the other thing is because of the dollar and cent also as well become a major constraint. So what we did in our community, we set up koperasi. Encik Azmin, sorry, Encik Faiz. We set up koperasi among the community, so everybody contribute with a small amount of shares, so we can get more monies, and then we invest in the bigger scale of the urban farming. But urban farming, not aquaponic. I think aquaponic is quite interesting also as well.
Yes.
Okay. Any question from the rooms to the Ahmad Faiz? You can put in the chat box. We don't have because we're very clear. So, Encik Ahmad Faiz, if you don't mind, you can leave your phone number there. So might be, maybe I also will contact you, to discuss also on the aquaponic also as well. After this, because in my community we focus on the food security also as well, in Bandar University Street Iskandar. So we have our own urban farming. We call it using a hydro techniques, linkage techniques, hydroponics. And also we have also fertigasi, chili, for almost 2 acres of the land. So I think it's quite interesting to know. Other approach as well, or might be we can try on aquaponic also in the future, inshallah. Can you give your phone number, and then we can.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Because I think there were no further question from the rooms. I think for the next, thank you very much. You can please stay in the room, because by end of the program, our session today, I think we will have our photo session. This is number one. Together with the participant also, we have to on our camera at that time. And also I will share also the the Google form for all of you to fill in, to get your insert and so on. Okay, thank you, Encik Faiz. Okay, thank you very much for your very excellent presentation. Okay, now I think we go for the final presenter today. I think Encik Arif Daniel is already there, isn't it? Okay. Encik Arif Daniel, Muhammad Arif Daniel will presenting a paper, Contractors' Perspective on the Impact of COVID-19 on Construction Industry. This is a current issue now. Okay, without further ado, please I welcome Muhammad Arif Daniel to present your paper.
All right, so give me a second for setting up my PowerPoint. All right, can you see the slide? All right, so Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all the presenters, moderators, and to the speakers. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this topic today at the International E-Conference on Green and Safe Cities. My name is Muhammad Arif Daniel bin Muhammad Daud, and I'll be representing for my lovely lecturer, Nur Anissa Abdullah, who couldn't make it due to personal broadband. I will be presenting about the topic Contractors' Perspective on the Impact of COVID-19 on Construction Industry. As you can see on the screen, these are the presentation layout that I've been fully planned for this presentation. We'll be starting off by the introduction of the topic. This will give you a heads up on the topic it's all about. Next, I will be presenting about the literature review that were done. And third is about the research methodology that were used for this topic. After that, we will be talking about the result and discussion, and we'll be ending the topic with the conclusion that have been throughout the study. Without wasting any time, let's talk about the intro of the topic. Construction industry is a large sector that accounting for 13% of the global gross domestic product. So as a result, any decrease in construction sector performance will have a negative impact on national economy. The emergence of COVID-19 or 2019 has had a huge impact throughout the world, prompting the World Health Organization had to declare it a pandemic. This COVID-19 has imposed total of lockdown and severely limiting economic activity. This action had reduced the mobility and causing many industries to shut down business and resulted in job loss. And the essential supplies like food and medical supplies, which led to socio-economic impact on individuals, said by Nicola on 2020. Moving on to the literature review part, COVID-19 epidemic most significant crisis of the current period, and its recovery could take years because of its wide range of impact to the economic sectors, including construction industry. As a result of the rapid increase in positive cases and the struggle of identifying the close contacts, Malaysia government issued a movement control MCO on March 2020, and 3 months after, they also declared that 5,131 of 6,750 construction sites inspected by CIDB remain inoperable. This industry value added 7.9% year on the first quarter of 2020. Moving on, the construction industry frequently requires project participants' attendance and on-site involvement. Cash flow issues become a major concern during the pandemic because of rising material costs and the difficulty in making payments to the contractor. Other than that, these are the impacts. The first impact is total cost of the project. Shortage of supplies and equipment, late deliveries, inclement weather, and poor supplier performance all increase the likelihood of project schedule and cost overruns. The project cost will increase as a result of COVID-19 testing, which aids required of all workers, particularly international workers, before they may resume work on site. Second is about the increased project duration. As a result, global construction industry's shortage of construction material and material delivery delays during the pandemic, construction output declined during pandemic. Because of the movement restriction and supply shortage, the project suspension is the most affected on the onset of the pandemic. The third impact is the increase of material price. There is a scarcity of materials to support ongoing projects, as well as price fluctuation in materials. Due to decreased production and logistical issues in Malaysia, it is concerned about the availability of building materials product when needed and at stable price. Lastly, additional temporary accommodation for labor. In Malaysia, if a worker at a centralized labor quarters, CLQ, is found out to be a positive for COVID-19, the employer is required to relocate close contact workers within the same CLQ to alternative accommodation. Workers can live in a separate area of the CLQ, away from other workers, and they must be watched closely to ensure that they do not leave the CLQ while under quarantine. Compliance with the SOP stated by the government led to additional temporary accommodation for labor, said by CIDB 2020. Moving on to the methodology. Methodology that are used for collecting the data information by using questionnaire survey. The population for the study is focusing on the contractors registered under the CIDB in Klang region that affected by the pandemic. The analysis method used for this research is descriptive statistics, which is under quantitative data analysis. A total of 106 respondents participated in answering the questionnaire survey. For the secondary data collection, the information was gained from literature reviews such as reference book, published journals, articles, and research paper, and the internet. This method is used to support the primary data collected. Next is about the result and discussion. As you can see in the table, these are the impacts are based on the questionnaire that were distributed among 106 participants. This illustrates that the pandemic COVID-19 gave an impact on total of the cost of the project with an average mean of 4.9%. The second most affected part is the increase of project duration with the average mean of 4.89. An increase in material price was at the third rank, and the additional temporary accommodation were at the last rank. This supported by Bailey in 2020, the pandemic is slowing down construction efforts, resulting project delays, interruption, in some cases, project suspension. In conclusion, it is statistically proven that this questionnaire were legit for this topic and the main impact of the COVID-19 on the contractors in the construction industry. The findings of the articles are intended to help the stakeholders and policymakers in the industry to understand the impact of unanticipated and uncontrollable pandemic faced by the contractor in Malaysia in construction industry. Hopefully, this study could be a helping hand and a stepping stone on improving the outline to deal with any unexpected circumstances in the future. I think that's all for my presentation today. Thank you again for borrowing your time and ears to this topic.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Arif Daniel. If there are any questions from the rooms to Muhammad Arif Daniel regarding the topics, you can put in the chat box. I think another issue related to your study, other than the increase of the cost of the projects, but one of the major issue in the construction is a shortage of the laborers, because most of the laborers been transported back to Indonesia and Bangladesh and so on. So has also become a major problem during the COVID-19. Other than because sometimes I agree with you in terms of your study, we have to provide CLQ, centralized labor quarters, additional SOP, for the all increased cost for the project, material cost also as well because the factory and so on. But I think because I'm the consultant architect also as well, I'm facing the same problems with my project because of there are shortage of the workers, especially skilled workers on site, because we rely on the foreign workers. We rely on foreign workers from Indonesia, from especially skilled workers from Indonesia. They also become one of the big impact to the contractors. Not only increase the cost, but also delaying the project. That's why most of the project is delayed. And for the government project, there are new initiatives given by the government for the projects achieve more than 60% physical on site. They can apply extension of time maximum for 6 months. This is one of the initiative given by the government, to help the contractor, especially for the government project, because of the increase of the cost, variation of price now we cannot quite, it's not stable. And the second one because of the labor. Okay, just to share with you, a few things about the current construction now in Malaysia after during the post COVID-19. Okay, is no further question for the floor. Okay, Faiz have shared his telephone number. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Muhammad Arif Daniel, for your presentation. Okay, so if you have, if the participant in the room require further question to the presenter, you can contact presenter personally. So before we wrap up, before we conclude our presentation today, so please on your camera, okay, we will have a photo session. Okay, everybody, please on your camera, and Syed Aiman will do the become a photographer today. So I will share also in the chat the Google form. Sorry, for you to fill in. To fill in for your attendance, for the e-certificate, and also for your ATM training hours for the from ATM, for the ATM staff. Okay, ready? Everybody is ready? Kita semua on ni. Please on your camera. Tak ada semua, boleh lah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Aiman?
Sekejap. On my
Sekejap. Sekali.
Saya punya queue. Okay.
Okay. Macam mana?
Freestyle Tadi yang formal dapat.
Freestyle. Okay, freestyle.
1, 2, 3. Okay, good.
All right. Okay. So thank you to all our presenters today, and thank you also for attending the session. Okay. As I reminded again, I already shared the Google form in the chat box for all of you to fill in the form for the attendance and also for the e-certificates. So if you have any additional question for the presenters, as I mentioned just now, you may contact the respective presenter personally. Please continue to stay in our session, afternoon session or tomorrow session as well. Enjoy the rest of our first international e-conference and green and safe city. Okay, cheers and thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.